found myself on the internet this week looking for jobs. And if you're someone who knows me well, you probably just did a little Bettina groan of sorts. Because people who know me well know that I'm always on the look for new jobs. Even when I'm perfectly happy and perfectly content in the job that I have, I'm just always on the hunt. And most of the time, it's because I'm just feeling the need to be curious. This week, I found myself looking for jobs. Now, let me just be clear with you that I love my job. I am not looking to leave my job. I absolutely love what I'm doing and believe that it's exactly where God has me. And in this last year, I've seen God lay out a specific plan for my life. And for me, that's pretty clear. Now, that's not to say that the specific steps that I'm supposed to take are clear or that I have any real sort of understanding as to what that's going to look like long term. But it does mean that I am walking down a path that I feel very confident in. I know the calling that God has on my life. I know the things that He's set out for me to do. And I'm walking in those. So when I found myself on a job website the other day and feeling that itch to move, and not just move on from my job, but I was looking at jobs that were out of the country. Jobs that I've always been curious and it just hasn't ever felt like the right time. And I was like, well, maybe now is the right time. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I have time to work on a job application. But there just wasn't something that was sitting right in my spirit about that. And I started reflecting on the motives for why I was looking at these jobs. And I think part of it is because while some of the jobs were very much in my skill set and things that I've been looking at and things that I've been interested in for many years, I also was looking at a job about being a special agent with the FBI. They were looking for somebody with a counseling background or psychology background. So I thought, perfect, I've got that. If you know anything about me, other than the fact that I like to look at jobs and other than the fact that I kind of feel like I have gypsy feet and enjoy moving around and am always on the hunt for something new, you will also know about me that I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, an athletic person. I will say that I have become more active in the last couple of years, but I would not consider myself athletic or athletically gifted or minded or enjoy any of those sorts of things. I'll get out on a nice walk every once in a while, but a runner, I am not. As a matter of fact, when I was in probably second grade, sometime in elementary school, my mom likes to remind me of this, that she got a call from the school that I had told the teachers I was not able to participate in PE because I have exercise-induced asthma. No, I don't. I'm just out of shape and don't really like to exercise. Two very different things. So the idea of me embarking on a law enforcement journey that right at the top of their website, they talk about how not only is the physical fitness test something that you have to take and participate in, but that being physically active is a way of life and is necessary for this job. Those two things, like a physically active way of life and Bettina, they don't really go together. So it got me thinking about my motivation behind why I was on this search. And I realized that while I have been walking this very specific path and have been feeling incredibly like I'm in my groove, I'm doing the right thing, I'm following God's intention for my life, I'm walking out my calling, I'm feeling really stuck right now in this stay-at-home time. Not so much in the practical aspects, like I'm really okay being at home. The fact that I pretty much only leave to go get groceries, that doesn't bother me. The fact that I mostly converse with people over technology, I don't love that. I really would rather be in person, but I'm okay with it. And so I haven't necessarily been feeling a lot of the same anxieties or overwhelm that other people have been talking about. But I realized when I took a minute to slow down that I feel really stuck in what am I supposed to be doing with my life right now? And you laid out this plan for me. You set me on a course and said, run, girl, run. Okay. I just made a joke about not being a runner. But I just feel like I'm on fire. Like God said, the world is yours, go after it. And I'm that kind of person. When God unleashes me, I'm like, let me go. And I have felt such invigoration and passion and like, I'm all in, God. I'm all in. Let's do this. And then, whoop, never mind. Stay at home. Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. I feel like I was on a Monopoly board and like I've been doing my thing. I've been like collecting all the pieces and all of a sudden I got that go to jail card. You know, that one that's like, go to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200, do not do anything. Like that's how I feel. And I feel really confident in walking out my calling when I have my checklist, when I have my to-dos. I don't really know how to walk out my calling sitting on my couch at home. And I realized that I am feeling really anxious about what I'm supposed to be doing with this time. When we first got the stay-at-home order, in my mind, I had all of these things that I was going to accomplish. I had a book that I was going to start writing. I had books on my bookshelf that I haven't finished reading that I was going to finish. I was going to rearrange my whole apartment. I was going to learn Mandarin Chinese. Okay, not fluent. Like I had realistic expectations. But most of my students are from China. And so I figured, hey, when you're at home, why not learn a few words so you can talk to them? And I find myself at the end of spring break, having read a few books, having started a new routine, but really having not accomplished much else on my to-do list. Part of what God has been revealing to me in the last probably 24, 48 hours as I've been sitting with this is to like, why are you searching for jobs when the jobs that you're searching for, you also know don't really line up with the things that you believe God has been telling you. When I feel a lack of control, when I feel like I don't know what is next, when I don't have the to-dos, the things that I can check off that say you are being productive, you are valuable, you're making progress in your life, I feel really insignificant. I feel like I'm not valued. I feel like I don't have anything to bring to the table. I just feel like I'm nothing. Those feelings of inadequacy and insignificance start rising up in me. All I want to do is grasp for control and things that make me feel good. And to be quite honest, looking for jobs makes me feel good because it reminds me of all the things I've accomplished. It reminds me of who I am. It's like, here's a crown, here's a crown, here's a crown. Here are all of the ways you've been a kick-butt person in the world. Here are all of the reasons that you would be great at that. And then I start to feel a sense of control. Because if I'm honest with you, Though being alone in my house isn't hard, being alone in my house without anything to do makes me feel like I don't matter. I'm really down on myself. And I start doubting all of the things that I know God has put in me. I start doubting all of the things that I know He's designed me to do. And I start grasping at anything that makes me feel important. And a question that God had asked me at the very beginning of us going on spring break, if the only thing that you could check off your list was that you spent quality time with me, would that be enough? And I know that the right answer, the Christian answer, is to say yes. That yes, God, if all I did during these 2 weeks off was to spend intentional quality time with you, that should be enough. But by looking at my internet job searching self, clearly that was not enough. I was beginning to operate out of my place of woundedness, out of those places in my heart that while God has done a lot of healing in, there's still wounds that I carry. There's still the lies that circulate in my head that say, if you're not doing something cool, you don't matter. I've talked about my need to feel unique, right? That's why I'm searching out jobs that are out of the country, or like being an FBI special agent. Like, I'm just being very real with you. This is my life. That when I feel small, I need to make myself feel like I've got a place in the world. Operating out of a place of strength. And not our strength, but His. When we can take those place of wounds, and instead of trying to fix them on our own, like searching for jobs, but we can take them and we can surrender them to Him and say, God, in this time of staying at home, like, I'm really struggling with finding significance in my life. Can take that honesty to God and allow Him to speak into that. Allow Him to remind me of my significance. That I am who I am. That it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It matters who I'm being. And if I'm being broken, sad, wounded Matina over here in a corner looking for a new job, I'm missing out on being the healed, freed, strong, bold, courageous Matina that's going to be able to go out and conquer the world for God. And sometimes we have to take a step back, be honest with ourselves, recognize like, okay, sometimes looking for jobs is just looking for jobs. But sometimes there's a different motivation behind that. And when I can recognize that I'm motivated by a spirit of inadequacy, then I can allow God to be the one to speak into my life, to remind me of my value, and to heal that wound. Because I don't want to operate out of my wounds. I want to operate out of my strength. So pay attention to the motives of your heart. Pay attention to your wounds and allow God to heal them so that you can walk in purpose and strength and boldness, knowing that you're doing exactly what you've been called to do.